Today's Dhamma topic is going to be on the different benefits of being generous, different benefits of being differently generous. You can be generous differently, right? So we want to talk about that topic with a sutta called Kiṃdada Sutta in the Samyutta Nikaya. Now, before I am going to go over the sutta, I want to tell you that some of the ideas that the Buddha talks about in this sutta about different benefits, about different dāna, generosity or giving, have to be carefully taken with the modern age. In the modern age, we have a different perspective, and Buddha was living in 6 BCE before Christ, and then people had different opinions about society and what they thought the society should be like. So we have to be very careful in understanding some of the things. Okay, let me read the sutta. First, I want to explain to you about the meaning. Kiṃdada. So kin is what, dada is giving. So what to give? Giving what to give? Two things that I want to warn you. Do not just focus on one thing that it talks about, and then do not just overdo one thing. Okay, so one has to do things in a balanced, moderate way, especially when it comes to different givings. Okay, so there was a deity, Deva, who usually shows up in the suttas in the Samyutta Nikaya in the first quarter, and the Deva asks a question: Kiṃdadu baladu hoti, Kiṃdadu hoti vannadu, Kiṃdadu sukhadu hoti, Kiṃdadu chakkudu, yocha sabba dadu hoti, tamme akhahi puchitoti. The translation: giving what does one give strength? Giving what one does give beauty? Giving what does one give ease or happiness? Giving what does one give eyesight, in short. Who is the giver of all? Being asked, please explain to me. And this was what the Deva asked from the Buddha. And Buddha recited this stanza as a reply to the deity's question. Annadu baladu hoti, vattadu hoti vannadu, yanadu sukhadu hoti, deepadu hoti chakkudu, socha sabba dadu hoti, yo dadati upassayam, amatan dadocha so hoti, yo dhamma manusasati. It's like in Pali, but we have to find out the meaning. Annadu baladu hoti. What is anna? Food. Giving food, one gives strength. That means when you offering food to someone, now it doesn't say that it is pindapata, so then you have to take from the monastic perspective. It is just food. Whenever you give food to a monastic or a layperson, non-monastic, it is all food, right? So giving food, one gives strength to that person or the bunch of people. Vattadu hoti vannadu. Vatta in Pali means clothes. So giving clothes, one gives beauty, vannadu. Now some people had translated vannadu as the skin color. That's not a good thing to talk about in the modern age. In the modern age, we try to accept everyone's skin color, right? We don't say this skin color is bad compared to the other skin color. Everyone would like to accept. I think that's the beauty, right? That's the beauty. But I mean, the translation has been given as beauty, not the skin color. But if you really concerned about why the Buddha used the word called one, I think the reason is at that time there was a there was a norm among the Indian people. The people who came from Persia, the modern Iraq and Iran, they were the people who had a fair skin color, and the people who already stayed in India, lived in India, they had a black skin, and there were a lot of fights going. Okay, so can you just open the blind a little bit?
The blind?
Yeah, the blinds. Just to turn this side and then turn the other. Yeah, and then just drag this one. Pull this one. Okay, that's better.
Pull it?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so Buddha had to tell people about the skin color based on the norm of the people at that time. So, but in the modern age, what we are going to think is, we're going to think that skin color doesn't matter, it's just the beauty. And then if you can offer, if you can give clothes to anybody, and as a result of that good karma, what happens to you is that you're getting beautiful. And beauty is also something which is dependent on the beholder. But there are people who other people call that they are naturally beautiful, pretty handsome. So then that's something to think about. Anyway, so giving clothes, one gives beauty. Yanadu sukhadu hoti. What is yana? Vehicle. Giving a vehicle, one gives ease, happiness. Now, what does it mean? You can give a vehicle to someone. It's so expensive, right? Isn't it? It's very expensive. But maybe some people may do that, but other people may buy a monthly bus pass to someone, and buy a bus ticket, buy the metro pass to someone who can't afford that, right? It's a good thing, right? You can sort of think about, some people can give a ride, who don't have this driver's license thing, right? So they don't know how to drive. So that means you are someone, physically. That means you are offering a lamp. At that time there was no power, right? So people use lamp. That's why I'm telling you how to think about the time, and then to compare, and then how it would relate to you, and then to understand that point. Giving a lamp, one gives sight. Giving light in whatever the ways, you are giving eyesight. That means if you have a good eyesight, that's one of the reasons that you can see a lot of things. Not even just the physical eyesight, but also a wise, eye. Sometimes people have the naked eye, very healthy, but even they look at things, they won't be able to understand what's going on. So you have a pair of eyes by which you can understand things as they are, right? Vipassana. Socha sabba dadu hoti yo dadati upassayan. And then the one who gives a residence or a house or shelter is the giver of all. That's something higher than all these, right? Not everybody can do. So if you can offer shelter to those who are homeless, right? Who are homeless, or if you can offer a monastery or a place for a monks who doing all those spiritual things, and then that means you are giving everything, not even just clothes, food, transportation of vehicles, light, but you are giving everything. But be careful. I want you at the beginning. Now a lot of people think, okay, I want to do only that thing. I don't want to do the rest of the thing. That's the problem. So we have to consistently look at all these things, because not that we need to find out the one thing that benefits us, but we should make every opportunity a dāna, right? Let's say now there is a person who is in need of food, then don't try to build a house right away. You need to give food, right?
Sure.
So you try to make every instance that you think you can be generous an opportunity in being a person like this. And then, now I said, the one who gives a residence or shelter is the giver of all. Last one. Amatang dadocha suhoti yo dhamma manusasati. But the one who teaches the Dhamma, the Buddhist teachings or Dhamma, it could be, Dhamma has no religion. Hindu people say whatever their religion, whatever doctrine is Dharma, right? The Buddha says it's Dhamma. So the reality, the truth of the universe within and beyond you has no religion, has no, those baggages, labeling. But in this case, because we talk about the Buddhist things, so it's the teachings of the Buddha. But the one who teaches the Dhamma is the giver of the deathless. That is called ambrosia in other words, in English. That means the beverage that is consumed by the deities. Amrute in Sinhala, Amrute is the one that is used by the deities that will help them not to die. But they are dying one day. Amrute is like immortality beverage. I don't know if people can find it out in a restaurant. So they will find it out and drink it. Anyway, so that means if you can share your real Dhamma knowledge with someone who is really in need of, that's the best, the most giving. But don't think you are only doing that. You don't want to do other things if you can. If you are really, good enough to do other givings, don't just do one thing. Try to do all these things, but what are the things that would generate by offering these different things. So once again, I would tell you, giving food, one gives strength. Giving clothes, one gives beauty. Giving a vehicle or transportation, one gives ease or happiness. Giving a lamp or light, one gives eyesight. The one who gives a residence, shelter or house is the giver of all. But the one who teaches the Dhamma is the giver of the deathless. That means the most thing that you can share. Because when you are sharing your Dhamma, you are helping someone build up his or her life. Sometimes people are misled by other people. They are destroying other people. They are ruining themselves. They don't have self-care. So you are doing the best thing. You can do that help by just offering food, by just sharing food, by offering a cloth, right? So you are trying to find out every opportunity, every event as an opportunity to help someone to make that person's life better. Okay. Any questions?
Is there any source from which we can read some sutta? I think there is some internet links.
About this sutta? Yeah. There's a script actually. If you can look it up on Google. If you can type Kiṃdada Sutta on Google, and you will find out the text and everything. Yeah. Pretty easy. In Pali and English. In one web page I saw there are 13 translations about this, all these suttas. Yeah. Somebody's commenting to the online live video. We're just talking about the light, and the light went off. Yes, but we managed to get it back, It's the light.
Because this was a time, the society that time, it was a kind of moneyless society, right? There was no exchange. I think they had kahon or something that time. But,
at that time, different
but it was not
currency.
Medium of...
You mean transportation?
Yeah. I mean exchange, things you can buy, all these things, that time.
There were no cash or paper bills. maybe some valuable materials like gold, such things, because they were exchanging such things. Anyway, but we have to take, what we have to take is the bigger meaning.
Yeah.
The bigger meaning is that how we can help each other, and then what will happen, and not to single out one offering, but to do everything as usual. Now, what happens to many people is when they read these kind of suttas, they're gonna find out what they can do to the best of them, and they're gonna only do that thing because they are very selfish at that point. So that's what I'm saying, when we see this kind of a sutta, because Buddha was talking a specific context, it doesn't mean that one has to find out the easiest way of being generous and then do that only. So one has to find out, as I told you at the beginning, every event that you can be generous to other people. And then at the end, when you are generous, that means you are spreading self-care as well, right?
So how many types of sharing or generosities were there?
It depends.
Oh.
It depends. As time, as time gets changed, the name of the objects have been changed. Now, for example, at that time, people used to offer lamps, right? Because they didn't have the power.
Okay.
So, but now we don't need to give lamps, right? Unless you are coming to temple to offer lamps. But, now what we can do is that if you can help someone, maybe, I don't know, sometimes poor people who can afford their, utility bills at some point, maybe who don't have power in some other, because Buddha was living in India, right? So there are still people who are, underprivileged. So we think from a very developed country perspective. So there are people who still don't have power at some point. So then maybe if you are a donor, you can facilitate something one day, maybe in South America, maybe Asia, I don't know. It's a good thing, right? So people can see this light at that point.
Things have transformed over time.
Yeah, that's why I'm
So
telling that
objects have-
don't just take the examples,
Yeah.
try to find out the similar time-friendly examples that you can do. The meaning is the most important thing, not just the objects.
the essence of the result.
Yeah,
That is
yes,
what we
the bigger meaning.
Yeah.
Now in many suttas, Buddha used examples like goats,
Yeah.
cows, dogs,
Yeah.
and we don't need to take such examples now, but we're gonna see what did Buddha mean by those examples, and then try to see what examples we can see in today's world. We are much better. Like, what if that we are gonna talk about? We're gonna share this teaching with a kid, with a young adult. They don't have any idea about this stuff, right? They haven't seen Asia. Sometimes Asia, they haven't seen underprivileged countries, right? Less privileged countries, right? They may have no idea about it at all, right? So that's why we have to be, careful in understanding the bigger meaning of the sutta. But my, suggestion for you is that try to find ways to be generous. Try to make every event an opportunity to be generous, and do not just find how I can do this thing because I know now I can get this thing and that thing, right? Now that is one of the things that may have crept on into the minds of a lot of people. Now, what has happened in many people's mind is that they know there are different meritorious activities which are higher than the other one, and they wanna only do that thing and not that normal generosity. And then what happens at the end? What has happened to their mindset is that they are becoming purely selfish, just because they wanna get that thing, and they do that big thing, but in their normal life they are not generous. So we have to understand the normal idea behind being generous in Buddhist teachings or elsewhere.
By referring bigger things and more valuable things, they think then.
Not they think, they have heard from some people that this will happen to them when they offer that thing, right? That's why I'm saying, when you hear the word, the idea, when you offer a vehicle, you get this thing, the people who can give that offering, they are getting so much excited. And because, not because that there is a pure need, but because they think they can get the opposite, right? It's good to be generous, but do not just do it just because you want to get that, result. It's a really good sutta, but we have to be very careful. Generosity can ruin you sometimes. That's why we have to be careful how we can be generous without being greedy, without being selfish. Okay, so if there are no more questions, so let's wrap this up. May all the good karmas we've been collecting so far help all of us to attain Nibbana. But before that, let's share all the good karmas with the departed relatives who passed. Ñāteyo idammi ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā hontu ñāteyo. Also, let's share all the good karmas with the deities who protect and bless all of us. May all the deities share in all these good karmas. May they be happy and peaceful. May they also attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ettavataca amhehi sampatam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavataca amhehi sampatam punya sampadam sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavataca amhehi sampatam punya sampadam sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattaca bhummatta devanaga mahiddhika punyantang Muditva chirang rakkantu loka sasanang akasattha ca bhummatta devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu desanang akasattha ca bhummatta devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu mang paranti. Finally, let's make a great wish. May all the good karmas we've been collecting so far help all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now monks will be blessing you with few more couple stanzas. Abhivadana silisse niccang vaddha pachayino chattaro dhamma vaddanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminate samijjatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So let's bow down 3 times as a respect to the Dhamma.